Have you been waking up too early this week because the clocks went back last weekend? Indeed, across Europe last Sunday, we left summer daylight saving time and we re-entered standard time. But where does this practice of changing the clocks come from, and is it still a good idea? Eva Higginbotham reports.
Here in Europe, the clocks have recently gone back, causing, as usual, much confusion. And it's not just humans that are missing their appointments. In the words of a Facebook friend,
how do you explain to a cat who routinely gets fed at 4 p.m. that the clocks went back and is screaming at me an hour early?
The process of switching back and forth due to daylight saving time, or daylight savings time, as most call it, feels unnatural. Why then do we do it? The concept comes rather surprisingly from Benjamin Franklin, who, on holiday to Paris, saw the locals sleeping in through the early summer mornings and staying up after dark, and wondered whether they couldn't just shift their schedules to save on candles. It was a bit of a joke. He suggested using cannons to wake everyone up.
Ah, sacre bleu, qu'est-ce qui se passe? C'est trop tôt, laissez-moi tranquille.
But by World War II, many countries had adopted it, and it's stayed with us almost ever since. For countries further from the equator, with more pronounced seasons, the idea makes theoretical sense. If you wake up around 6, 7, 8 a.m. to go to work, you'll catch the full day's worth of sun in winter, but miss the sunrise in summer. May as well put the clocks back, make the sunrise effectively happen later, and catch more daylight. To understand how it works in practice, though, you're getting into the complex world of the body clock. Our bodies run on a close to 24-hour rhythm, raising our temperature and blood pressure when it's time to wake up, controlling our hormone levels throughout the day, releasing melatonin that helps us sleep at night. Each cell has its own clock, which keeps time by a master clock in the underside of the brain, and the master clock sets its time by the sunlight. But every person is different. The reason you get some being morning larks and some being night owls is because people's body clocks synchronize with the light differently. You can get data on this by looking at the times people wake up on their days off work, and data from Americans shows that 3/4 would prefer to wake up and sleep later. Daylight saving time then moves the official time in the opposite direction to what they'd prefer, increasing what's called their social jet lag and bringing in all sorts of health problems. So night owls don't like the new times. Farmers generally don't like the change because they wake up with the sun anyway, and whenever people are surveyed on the issue, it's usually a minority saying they think it's worth the hassle. But does it save energy on lighting houses, as Ben Franklin suggested? There's evidence from Australia and the USA that reductions in energy demand for lighting were matched by increased demand for air conditioning during the longer daytime. In the words of the University of Washington's Hendrik Wolf, everywhere there is air conditioning, our evidence suggests that daylight saving is a loser. There's counter-arguments, though, that the extra light is just good for us. People spend more time outdoors, the roads are lighter for the evening rush hour, and there's less crime because of the light. In response, others propose, well, if it's so good in summer, why not year-round? Perennial daylight saving time, effectively moving your country one time zone to the east. But that proposition also causes arguments, as it would mean that in the winter, school children and workers would likely be starting their days in pitch darkness, and lots of circadian rhythm experts warn that that would cause harm too. So, the debate continues, but for now, it seems opinion will keep flip-flopping on whether it's worth making the switch. Which seems pretty appropriate, actually.
Well, part of me would still prefer not to have to change, though. Eva Higginbotham there.